Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Will Dinwiddie here. Today's word of the day is military. I just want to talk about the military and share with you some of the experiences that the military taught me that helped me to become who I am today. Because I don't believe that I would be as far along as I am today. I don't believe I would be the athlete I am today or the the entrepreneur that I am today had it not been for the skills and disciplines the military further refined in me. Um, I say further refined because I believe that we all naturally know what the right thing to do is for us, but we just choose not to a lot of the time. And what the military did before I joined the military, all I had any faith in is that I was going to lift weights. I was going to keep lifting weights no matter what. But I didn't really have any faith in myself that I could go to college, that I was smart enough to be in regular society. I didn't believe I fit in very well to regular society. I dropped out as a junior because I didn't fit into the high school. I just couldn't figure out how to fit in with my peers. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't figure it out. Like I tried and I tried and I couldn't get it. I was never part of any group or anything like that. I didn't have a girlfriend growing up. I couldn't do the things that regular people did, and I tried, and I just couldn't figure out why I couldn't. But I did figure out one thing is that I was different than everybody else, and I knew that the military was a place that not everybody would go to, and it would test you, and it could help you to see how good you could get or how far you could go, or so when I joined the military, I originally joined as a regular infantryman, and I just thought I was going to be like my dad and be a regular infantryman. I figured, maybe I'd learn what I needed to know about life there, and I just wanted to find a way to get paid to keep working out. I just wanted to keep working out ultimately, and I knew I'd get paid in the military. I knew the military bases had gyms, and I just figured it would be a great place for me. So I joined the military as a regular infantryman, but during basic training, I excelled so well physically that I was promoted at a basic. I was promoted during basic training, and my drill sergeant also he called me into his office about 2 weeks before graduation and said, if I can get you, asked me he's like, if I can get you a slot for airborne school, would you take it? And I said, yes, I would take it. And he's like, would you? He's like, the only reason why I'm offering this opportunity to you is because I can get you a slot at airborne school if, on one condition, you volunteer for Rangers during the third week of airborne school. They'll ask you who wants to join Ranger Battalion, who wants to become an airborne ranger, and they take volunteers that day. And so if you volunteer, I'll get you the slot. And I told them, yes, I'd volunteer, I would do it. And so I went on, and that really inspired me. I was like, wow, that was the first person who ever actually, my drill sergeant was the first person that ever acknowledged me for being good at something. No one in my life had ever acknowledged me for anything but the bad that I did. And I remember growing up, and all I ever got acknowledged for was when I did something wrong. I never got acknowledged for all the right things that I was doing, like focusing on building my body and the discipline that I was learning from it and the commitment that I was demonstrating. Overcoming adversity, knowing that it was hard, but still doing it anyway, just continuing to learn and better myself. That was the first time I'd ever been acknowledged for that, and it really meant a lot to me. And when he said that to me, I felt like, yes, this guy believes in me. I've never felt these kind of feelings before of what it feels like to know that somebody believes in you. So I went forward and I did it, and I did those things, and then I ended up seeing my drill sergeant later on down my military career. He became a first lieutenant or second lieutenant. He became an officer, and part of one of his goals was to retire as an officer and not be he was in E7 when he was my drill, or in E6 when he was my drill sergeant, but he went on to become an E7 or an E8, and then he decided he wanted to be an officer. He just kept moving forward with his life too, and expecting more out of himself. And I learned so much from those people that it just made me start to believe that I was capable of more, And when I went on to become a ranger, and then I served as a ranger, I just remember believing in myself, like, you know what? you can do this. You can do whatever you want to do, because who'd have thought that a skinny bully kid would go on to do this as a job, be a special operations soldier. And then I decided that I didn't want to do it anymore. I just didn't. I didn't have it in me. I knew it wasn't in me anymore. Because that wasn't really what my path was. The military wasn't really my path. My path was weightlifting and doing what I'm doing now, and chasing that dream, you know. But I didn't really know it completely until I went through some things. So I did, after I got out of the military, I went and worked various jobs because I knew I wanted to do what I'm doing now, but I still didn't believe I believed I was physically capable of it, but I just didn't believe I was smart enough. I didn't believe I had the like that education where you could explain it on a cellular level, you know. Like, I just believed I made up all kind of excuses and reasons why I couldn't do what I'm doing now back then. Why I was too afraid. Like, I tried to talk myself out of it and say, you're not afraid, but I knew I was afraid. I knew I was afraid that I would fall short, and so I didn't do it, and it took me forever to do it. But I remember when I finally did do it, I just looked at it like, I remember when I told myself that I was going to make it, I was going to volunteer. When I was going through airborne school, yep, you're going to go through airborne school and you're going to do whatever they tell you to do. You want to know why you're going to make it through Ranger training? It's because you're going to do whatever they tell you to do. You want to know why you're going to make it in the military, or why you're going to make it through these schools, and why you're going to excel? Because you're going to do whatever is necessary. You're going to do whatever's required. And you know what it's like to go without sleep. You know what it's like to go without food. So those two things you don't even have to worry about anymore. Like, you can deal with that, you know. Like, you're just going to focus on the mission, and the mission is studying every day, all day long, listening to the tapes, doing whatever all day long. You're not going to listen to music because that takes away from your opportunity to learn. You're not going to watch TV because that takes away from your opportunity to learn. You're just going to keep learning and keep learning. And that's what the military, like, ingrained that in me. I remember going through the Ranger training and just constantly you're being battered with physical training, you know. Like, it's like you're going to go road march, then you're going to get smoked for an hour, then you're going to get back up and you're going to go do a mission, and then you're going to get bombarded with ambushes, and you're just going to be constantly stressed out, you know. Like, and you're not going to have time to eat because you got a mission to accomplish, and you got to make a perimeter, and you got to make sure everybody's ammunition is counted, everybody's water is good, everybody's weapons are functioning properly, they have a chance to clean their stuff. You got to get a new mission plan set up, you know. Like, you had to do all these things, you know. Like, you didn't have time to think about how miserable you were, or how hungry you were, because you had so much to do. You know, that taught me throughout my training, you know, winning contests, you know, learning how to win contests. I wasn't going to focus on the fact that I was losing for the first 5 years of my career in strongman. When I started competing in strongman, I wasn't going to focus on the fact that I kept losing. I was focusing on the fact of why am I losing, and what do I got to do to win. And I just mainly focused on what do I got to do to win. I got to get my overhead better. I got to get my moving events down, you know. Like, how am I going to do that? I got to get equipment. How am I going to get equipment? One piece at a time, you know. Like, I just came up with a good answer for every question that I had, you know. Like, sometimes I'd come up with multiple answers, but I'd pick the best one that I thought fit the best. And that was part of how I was able to do this, is from the knowledge that the military gave me. The military taught me how to think on my feet, taught me how to improvise, no mission ever works out the way it is planned. It starts out that way, and then as soon as you get into battle, or as soon as some excitement happens, as soon as somebody gets injured or something like that happens, it changes things. It changes the mission. Like, so it's like you got to be flexible. The military taught me how to be flexible with my approach, how to block and overcome, how to low crawl around situations, or how to just run right through it, or how to bomb situations, or, you know what I'm saying, how to use the resources around me to help me get to my goal and accomplish my mission. The military, I feel, was like, it saved me, you know. In one way it saved me, because had it not been for the military, I don't know what I would have done, but I do not believe that I would be where I'm at right now had I not joined the military and learned the disciplines that they taught me. that lifestyle that it taught me. There's just so much about it. The discipline itself is just so valuable to me that I would easily do it again 10 times over. I would go further. I would try even harder to be even better. That's my mindset about the military. The military was a great place, and then you have benefits that follow you for the rest of your life. So it's just like, if you don't know what you want to do with yourself, the military, and you're a high school kid, or you're an 18-year-old kid or a teenager, or even if you're a grown-up, you're in your 20s, and you're just like, and you're watching this video and you're like, I don't know what I want to do with myself, the military will help you figure that out. It will provide you skills, it will provide you job opportunity, you will make money, you will get to travel, you will get clothes, you will get food, you will get shelter, and it will provide you with some direction. You'll either like that way of life, or it'll show you that that's not what you want, and then it'll direct you into what you do really want. It'll show you, it'll provide you opportunities for school. It provides so many things. I highly recommend the military to anybody that is unsure of what they want to do with themselves, that needs to build some self-confidence, and that needs some direction with their life. The military gave me direction, and it planted things into me, disciplines into me that I use to this day to make my life better. So I highly recommend anyone that watches this that's on the fence. The military is a great place. Just pick a branch and pick a job and focus on making it happen. There's a lot of options out there. And remember, as always, don't be average, be epic, baby.